What up, boys and 1% gals? It's Gaz, and welcome to the WARFRAME video. So today we're going over the Zephyr Rework, and I got a pretty nasty setup for you today. It gives me Khora vibes, not gonna lie. It gives me Khora vibes from like months ago when we were camping real hard with Khora and destroying everything through walls. That's kind of the vibes I'm getting from this Zephyr Rework with these tornadoes. So we'll be going over two different builds today. The first build's kind of like a throwaway, like, standard, no Helminth, just, chilling as Zephyr. And then the second one is the Khora 2.0 build, basically. So, before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel yet and you'd like to see when the videos go up. 5 videos a week on this channel, Warframe related. Although Outriders is coming out later in the week, so we might have some Outriders videos coming out too. And then, live stream link was on the screen there. You better be quick and click on it. All right. So we're going over Zephyr. So what happened with Zephyr? Well, Zephyr got some changes to her abilities. Now her first ability, Tailwind, you can actually float with it. And the dive bomb explosion when you land is actually larger. And I think it does more damage too. Not very important, but you can definitely make a Tailwind augment build work. And it does good damage, but the weapons are better, honestly. Air Burst has a suction that pulls enemies into a certain area. And it can also just pull enemies into your tornadoes when you cast them. Pretty good ability, honestly, all things considered. It's also the subsume ability that you can give to other frames. Turbulence is there 3. This was not changed at all. What this does is it makes a shield around you, and I guess technically your sentinel too, of blocking projectiles. So melee is not affected by this, but you just can't get hit by bullets basically when you have this up. And her 4th ability is going to be the tornadoes, so the most useful ability probably. So you hold it down to make a suction area where the enemies will be pulled in. They deal damage over time, and if you tap it, they will be like tornadoes that roam around the map doing stuff. There's one right there, and there's 2 over there. They spawn 3 tornadoes without the augment mod. So let's just show how so if you hold the button down, this is going to be the main focus of the camping build. It makes all tornadoes in one spot, and when you shoot these tornadoes or hit them with melees, it does damage to the enemies in the tornadoes. So very good stuff there, and picking a good weapon is going to help you get like a good setup for your tornadoes. As you can notice here, I have gas damage on my Khora core. For some reason, gas damage is actually good with these tornadoes. Although I'm going to go ahead and say viral is still better. Because the nice thing about these tornadoes is they'll actually take the damage type you shoot them with and apply that to the tornadoes themselves. So these tornadoes can proc viral. These tornadoes can proc corrosive and gas and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to be wanting to go with a good element here. I guess they can technically proc slash too. But here is the build we had on the core. So like you want to put a Bane mod on there too, because that also applies to the damage of the tornadoes. These tornadoes will also multiply critical damage by 2, which is kind of hilarious. So here's the build we had on Zephyr. Now keep in mind there's one mod slot missing because I have not formatted her that much. I mean 3 times I guess is kind of a lot, but I've had Zephyr Prime for a while. So we've got basically the most important stats on Zephyr are range and duration. Strength is not important at all because what strength affects is the damage per second of your tornadoes, not the weapon damage. It affects the damage of the air burst, your suction attack, and it affects the damage of your first ability, which those are all not very important stats as we will be killing enemies with weapons in our tornadoes most of the time. As far as the rest, we have natural talent because our casting animations are very, very slow and long, so you definitely want to have natural talent on your Zephyr build. And then we've got range to pull enemies in the tornadoes from further away, more range here, and then we've got continuity just to have to recast less, make the tornadoes last longer. Rolling guard's very good on Zephyr because you have this like air shield turbulence. For some reason, if a melee enemy breaks your shield, just rolling guard and then suck him into the tornado so he can't even attack you anymore. Prime Flow, you don't have to run this, but it is a decent mod slot for this choice. And then Prime Sure-Footed. We'll be using lots of explosive weapons with these tornadoes, so you definitely want to have this mod. If you don't have Prime Sure-Footed, Handspring is going to be your next best bet. Alright, and then the Arcanes. In this build, I really haven't messed with them too much, but there's lots of choices. Alright, so the Khora core is pretty good for shooting the tornadoes. The Stropha, I'm going to say, is one of the best. We're going to show... I don't want this to get nerfed, so we're not going to go into depth on what the actual best one is, but look in the gameplay footage to see what the best weapon for Zephyr is. So, one heavy attack with the Stropha, it basically makes... The nice thing with these tornadoes, it makes single target weapons AoE, basically. So let's just use a single target weapon here. Let's see, what do we want to use here? Let's use... The Fulmin's not single target. The Fulmin's pretty good at this, too. How about the Prisma Gurkata? Sure. The Prisma Gurkata is a single target weapon. Mows enemies down. Let's use it with the tornadoes and see how it works. Now, I have not really thoroughly tested this build with the tornadoes at all, but let's just see how it goes. I have a feeling it will be pretty good. Keep in mind, we do have an orange crit cat buff. Another nice thing about Zephyr is that since you can float in the air with her 1 now, her passive will actually change to give you increased crit chance while airborne. As you can see, the Khora becomes a multi-target weapon as we're shooting the tornadoes. So pretty good stuff there, and if you can stay airborne for a very long time, just become like an AC 130. Let's move on to some other weapons here. So like that was the example I'm just showing. It makes weapons AoE. Let's use some actual stuff I've tested I know is good. So things like the Synapse is pretty good. The Bad Ending, which we have a video on the channel, the Vermisplicer primary kit gun is very good. This weapon right here is the best one for Zephyr. We'll show that in the gameplay footage. And let's see what else we got here. The Fulmin's pretty good. I know a lot of people like the Fulmin. Honestly, guys, whatever you have is going to be good. I bet the Ignis Wraith would still be good as well. Let's just use the Ignis Wraith. Let's try a gas build. Like I said, for some reason, it just becomes really good with gas damage. Scratch that. We're going to actually just do a viral heat build. The most dominant type of damage will actually be the one affecting your tornadoes. So if you have a max viral and a little bit of heat on your build, it will take viral into the tornado account for the most part. So let's use a glaive prime, and throw it into the tornadoes. I mean, of course, the glaive prime doesn't even need the help here, but let's just do it anyway. Yeah, these tornadoes will help you one-shot acolytes. Actually, in the gameplay footage, we will one-shot acolytes with a viral build. So yes. Alright, make sure they're in the tornado. Then we'll show the build I'm actually going to recommend to you after this with the Helminth. So as you can see, Ignis Wraith, it's ridiculous stuff. I believe the cat buff was going there too, but you see what I mean. Like, it multiplies crit damage by a lot. So let's show the Helminth build here, the one I'm going to recommend to you guys. And this is to make it basically Khora 2.0. So as you can see right here, we're sacrificing a bit of duration to go all in on range. This is the maximum amount of range possible with mods, 280%. The radius on our tornadoes is gigantic. And we've actually subsumed off Zephyr's first ability for Gara's Spectral Rage ability. This will make it so it's a mirror area where the enemies will be taunted into attacking them, or even walk into the mirrors to attack them, which will help them get baited into our tornadoes. We're using the Augment Mod Spectro Siphon, which will make it when enemies die within the within the mirrors, they will drop energy orbs 50% of the time. So basically, they run into the mirrors, they get sucked in the tornadoes running to the mirrors, and then drop energy orbs like endlessly for us. So we will never have an energy issue at all with this build. And then the rest of the stuff is just similar things to the first build. Rolling Guard for safety, and then range and Prime Sure-Footed for more safety. Notice we're using Arcane Primary Charger. Get 1 melee kill, gives you increased primary damage. Not very important, but no other... not a lot of the other arcanes are really going to be helping us much here either. So let's use one of the weapons I think is actually pretty good at this, and it's going to be the Convectrix. There's lots of beam weapons are good with this, to be honest, but if you just want a one-and-done weapon, we'll show the gameplay footage here in a second. So we're going to be using the Efficient Beams Augment Mod for the Convectrix, giving us massively increased status chance. And we'll use the Convectrix Riven as well. Notice how our slash is the highest weighted, with the viral being lower weighted. That's going to mean we're just basically going to get a bunch of slash procs and not many viral. If any viral at all. Not exactly super ideal, but well, yeah, we'll show how it goes. The cat buff keeps trolling me, to be honest, so we'll have to just show the gameplay footage instead of these cat crits. So you can see like lots of slash procs there. Getting a second person in here to spawn in enemies would be helpful. Let's go ahead and unequip the cat, because he's just cheating. You're just cheating, Count Kirby. Apparently I can't reset that bonus with that button. Alright, so let's just try it again. Waiting out the 5 seconds before Count Kirby's troll buff goes down. And yeah, let's cast the ability, so they're in the tornadoes. The Spectral Siphon's underneath the tornadoes. And now when we kill them, they will drop energy orbs very reliably. Let's throw the glaive. That was not a heavy explosion, that's a heavy explosion. And as you can see right there, lots of energy orbs drop. We can easily pick them up. If we have vacuum, we can suck them in immediately. And you can just basically camp for nearly forever, guys. Depending on which weapon you're using, you can camp nearly forever. So let's just use like 1 or 2 more before we hop into the gameplay footage. The Ceto's okay, because it like changes enemies, but it actually causes so many visual effects, it kind of bugs up my computer. So we're not going to do that. Let's use the Fulminth with a viral electric build. And we're going to just summon them into the tornadoes. Should be about 1 shot to kill them, honestly. So you can actually shoot the tornadoes and the enemies at the same time. But as you can see, 1 shot killed them with a viral electric build. The problem is with some things like a gas or a viral, certain builds on this Fulmin, I actually had internal bleeding on there, will actually, since it has base electric, it can be kind of screwed up. So let's just put on the Bane mod and see how much faster they die with the same build. I don't believe internal bleeding goes through the tornadoes, although I've not extensively tested it. Yep, so yeah, electric's really good since they're all grouped up. Gas is pretty good on those for some reason. And then I think viral is the best, but you know, it's going to be up to you, whatever you want to mod for. Honestly, most builds will be great for those tornadoes. But if you want to really min-max it, I'd say go with viral, gas, or electric. Alright, so before we hop into the gameplay, let's just do one more weapon. Let's see what we feel like rocking here. Let's do the Phage. I actually remember the Phage being pretty good. So we'll just pop that in there with a viral heat corrosive build. So if this could proc multiple elements, I don't believe it can. That would be pretty juicy. But I digress. I'd say the best weapon for this are the Stropha, the one we'll show in the video, or the gameplay, and then whatever your best weapon is, basically. Let's jump for the extra crit chance, and there you go. Alright, gameplay time. Let's get into it, bad boys. It's going to be... So this is the best weapon for Zephyr. We're not going to talk about it extensively because I don't want it to get nerfed. But, yes, it definitely is. This will let you one-shot Acolytes. If the Acolyte spawns in the tornadoes, they're done for. And, yeah, you can melee these tornadoes, too, if you really want to activate your primary charger. Here's the problem with this, actually. Sometimes the tornadoes bug out. You fire in the tornado, everything dies, like maybe too many enemies died in the tornado or something like that, and you need to recast your tornadoes. So that's something you definitely want to keep in mind. And this is on the steel path, by the way. So, yeah, it one-shots the steel path. I mean, this is at the beginning of the recording. I think I went for about 20-ish minutes here, and I never had a damage issue at all. This is with the wrong Bane mod. This is with the Bane of the Corrupted mod, when I should have a Bane of the Grenier mod equipped, too. So... yeah, you can see how this goes. The only problem with this is the cat AI. I feel like they made it stupider recently because the cat keeps running into enemies and dying. But yeah, if the cat would have stayed next to me the whole time, there would be no issue. We could just farm steel essence until we get bored, pretty much. So yeah, so I'm sure you can see what's happening on the screen here. Similar weapons like the Khora and the Batacor also worked with this as well. And yeah, I mean. What other ability would you subsume off? Let me know in the comments down below. Would you subsume off her 2 or her 3 or her... I feel like the 1's the only one you can really subsume off. Although I would like to be constantly floating with that ability, which, you know, you kind of need that ability to constantly float. So you don't even need to jump, to be honest. You can one-shot these guys with no jumping. So hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. I do like the Zephyr Rework a lot. And of course, if you go to Speed Nova here, your kills per second would be a lot higher. I was getting about 100 and something kills per minute with this setup, and just this random I didn't even like pick a good camping spot. I just picked a camping spot I saw in the first room. So yeah, you could definitely find a better spot for this and just be the Khora 2.0 you always wanted to be. Kind of funny that Zephyr actually became pretty decent. But, and like I said, if they do end up nerfing this, just use the Stropha. It's totally fine. The Fulman was good, too. I'm sure the Redeemer Prime is good, too. But I've been using the Stropha mainly with a gas build, and that's been okay. The Corrosive build is good, too. Honestly, guys, don't worry about the elements too much. Whatever element is good is going to be fine. So, yeah, that's going to be the first video for this week. I've got 4 more videos to be recording after this. And yeah, I do want to see this Acolyte spawn so we can one-shot him. If you are on the Twitch channel, you might have seen this one live where we one-shot the Acolyte. Like, the first time I reacted to it, I'm like, oh yeah, the Acolyte's definitely dead. He spawned in the tornadoes, and I shot the Trumna shot at him instantly, and he insta-blew up. It was hilarious, so... yeah, I'd say Spectrosiphon is going to be a really good subsume. Other subsumes you could use, I think people are liking Breach Surge. I feel like Breach Surge is counterproductive, actually, because that's going to stun the enemies far away from your tornadoes. Yeah, I don't think Breach Surge is very good. I mean, it will be good for, like, seeing big damage numbers, but, like, as far as, like, synergy and stuff, I feel like Spectrosiphon is the way to go. Of course, yeah, like I said, you're getting lots of damage ticks, so Breach Surge will be good for damage, but, you know, they're getting stunned and not walking towards you, probably, so counterproductive. Here's the Acolyte. I don't think he spawns in the, okay, so he didn't actually spawn in the tornadoes, so he had to, like, he took, like, 2 ticks of damage to kill him there. Three ticks, all right, to be fair. I'll see you guys next time. Hope the video was helpful, and take it easy. Peace.